Hello students, today we are going to learn about summarizing a story. First, let me explain what summarizing is. Actually, do any of you have any ideas of what summarizing might be? Very good. Yeah, summarizing is restating a story. A little bit more specific. Summarizing is stating the main idea of a story without all of the details. So class, let's begin reading our story. Today we're going to read Where the Wild Things Are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he went to bed without anything to eat. Look, Max looks a little upset. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew. Until the ceiling hung with vines and his walls became the world around him. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and the day. And in and out of weeks, sorry, I'm a little off here, and almost over a year to where the wild things are. So summarizing that, Max went to bed, and it took him a long time to get somewhere, didn't it, class? And when he came to a place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and snatched their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and he tamed them with a magic trick. And they're all calm now. And he stared into their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And they made him king of all the wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." And here is the wild rumpus. And it keeps going into the day. And back again. Looks like it might be the nighttime. "Now stop," Max said, and he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max was king of all the wild things, was lonely, and wanted to be where somebody loved him best of all. Then all around from way across the world, he smelled good things to eat. He gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and set their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year, in and out of weeks and through the day and into the night of his very own room, where he found supper waiting for him. See, he's back in his room, and it's normal, guys. And guess what? He has supper. And it's still hot. And that's all. So, class, I wanted to ask, does anyone want to summarize this book for me? But remember, summarizing is when you tell the main idea of the story without giving all of the details of the book. So you can summarize without reading all of the book. Oh, excuse me, class. Okay. Yes, Thomas. Very good. A good summary could be that a boy went to bed and that he was the king. He had dreams that he was the king of all the wild things. Good job. The way I would summarize it is, a boy gets sent to his room for being a mischief, which just means he's misbehaving, and he falls asleep. And while he's asleep, he thinks of a world that's far away, and he goes to that world. And when he goes there, he becomes king of all the wild things. And then he gets hungry and wants to go back home. So he leaves to return home and finds that his food is still warm. And that is how I would summarize where the wild things are. Good job today, class, on reading. So what I would like to do with summarizing is that I would hope as my students grow in reading that one day they would be able to summarize a little more in detail like I just did at the end of that. I would like them to, maybe even write it down in a journal or something if we were doing journals for our weekly readings or however I decided to do that in class. But by the end of the year, I would hope that they could be able to give me a short paragraph instead of just a one sentence of the summarizing of a small book. I feel like summarizing is something that we use from the time we are, littles until, well, I'm obviously still using them now in college. So I just think that summarizing is a really good thing to teach our students. So I feel like if they can learn it and they can summarize me a good detailed little paragraph about a story by the end of the school year, that I will feel very accomplished by that.